Hi everyone. As part of this problem, we have the input dataset choice.csv. This dataset has two columns, that is name and fabSweets. Name is the name of the user and the fabSweets are the list of sweets that they like. So as we see, this CSV file is semicolon separated. So the two columns are separated by semicolon delimiter and the list of sweets are separated by commas. So this is the input that we have. As part of the output, we have to transform this fabSweets column such that each of these sweets are present as separate record. So for this input, which has each user with the list of sweets that they like as a single record, we have to transform it such a way that each sweet is placed as a separate record along with the user. So let's get going and solve this problem. So as a first step, we will load the input data set. So let's get started with that. We will use the Spark Read API to load this data set. The format of this data set is CSV. Let's specify the path where this file is located. So we'll go to the catalog and get the file path. And this is choice.csv. So let's paste the path. Now we have to take things into consideration. First is this file already contains the header. So let's add that first. So we will set the option header as true, indicating that this file already contains the header and to read the header from the file itself. Second thing is we need to have the delimiter as semicolon for this file. Usually by default, the CSV file has the delimiter as comma, but this is a different case. So we need to specify that as well. So we have to specify using SEP option, that is separator option, that the separator for this file is a semicolon. So that's all. These two consideration we have to do, and then we can load this data set into this input data frame. Let's see the data to check if it is rightly loaded. So let's run this cell. Okay. So we have rightly loaded the input data set. We have two columns, name and the fabSweets. So now we will operate on this column fabSweets and try to get it across multiple records. And to do that, we will use the Spark SQL function. So as a prerequisite, we will add the require import statement. So let's quickly do that. So we have added the require import statement. Let's run the cell and now we can proceed ahead. So we will do this step by step. We will operate on the input data frame. What we will do is let's create a new column. Let's call this as fabSuite. And we will try to have a single suite as part of this column. So what we will do is, first of all, whatever data that we have, we will translate it as a array. Okay, so let's do that first. So for that, we are using the split function. So we will specify the fabSweets column as a first argument to this function, and the second argument is comma. So this function will translate this column as a array, and to do that, we have specified the column name on which it has to operate and the separator, that is comma. So let's quickly see what is the output that is generated. So now we have transformed this column into an array column. So now we can operate on this array and try to get it as part of different records with each suite present separately. So what we will do is we will use the explode function. The explode function takes the array or map collection as input and moves them across multiple records. So let's run and see the output. So now as we see, we have moved each of the entries across multiple records. So for a particular user, we have the sweets present on different records. And for each of the user, now we are getting the data correctly. As a last step, we will remove this fabSweets column as we don't need it. So for that, we will use the drop operation and we will specify the fabSweets column. So this way, we have got the required result that we were looking for. We have moved the multiple entries as separate records. So let's quickly walk through what we have done to solve this problem. So as a first step, we have loaded the input dataset choice.csv. We have taken two things into consideration. The first thing is that the file already contained the header. So we have set the option header as true. So that header was picked from the file. Second thing was, since the file has a separate delimiter, by default CSV has comma delimiter, but here it is semicolon. So we have to specify that so that the Spark Read API correctly reads the data. So we have taken these two things into account and loaded the input data set. And then we have checked the data set is loaded correctly. And we have gone ahead and used the Spark SQL function. First, we have used the split function using the comma as delimiter and transformed the fabSweets column as an array. After that, we have utilized the explode function on top of this array that was created, and this moved the multiple entries that were present in a single row across multiple rows. And finally, we dropped the fabSweets column, which was input, as we did not need it. And this way we have solved the problem. So the content of the input data set will be provided as part of the video description. If you found the video useful, please like
comment,
it.
and
Please subscribe the channel
subscribe.
if you have not yet subscribed, and please share the video in your circle so that more people can benefit. Thank you.